Welcome back to update number 9 for the Rising Star expedition from the Cradle of Humankind in South Africa. I'm John Mead and sharing with you today's update, today being November 24th, 2013. We're going to start off at the lower right corner of the video and work our way up on the relevant Twitter feeds from the team today. We start off with Dr. Berger, early morning, a nice sunrise image there from the cradle, getting ready to get things started. And it was indeed a busy day. So let's continue along and see what happened. We find out that day 19 begins with Hannah, Ellen, and Alia in the cave with Rick and Rupert on safety. So getting the advanced scientists down there early, as has become the norm. And since Ellen's heading in there, she has her gear and she says, "Once more into the breach." Then from John Hawks, we get an update. The goal for this morning is to catch up in the science tent. The advanced team has overwhelmed our ability to process. So that is the amazing amount of fossils that have come up. I know they were up close to 800, and Hawks had suggested that he had no doubt that this expedition, by the time they shut things down in a couple of days, will be well north of 1,000 fossils and fossil fragments. So that is just amazing news. We continue along from Dr. Berger. Ellen and Alia working on the skull area where there's a dense bone mass, while Hannah clears another rich area. So again, wherever you turn in that chamber, there are fossils to be brought up. When he says they're working on the skull area, it's not clear to me if that is indeed the same area where the skull was lifted from, what they've been referring to as the puzzle box, or if this is indeed a different area. I suspect it's the puzzle box, but not sure. And then up top side, the science tent is humming with Becca, Marina, and Lindsay, helping Peter, John, and Scott. Lots of work getting caught up with all the fossils that are already up in the science tent. And John Hawks follows up here. The science tent is catching up with the help of Marina, Becca, and Paleo Bone Girl is Lindsay. Advanced team preparing to pull more bones. So no rest for those in the science tent, which is a good issue. And here we are. This is a great post here. It's from Dr. Berger referencing the National Geographic blog, which I have linked to on the Blue Lion blog. So when you go back, please check this out. But it's Know Your Skulls, and it's a rundown of the 4 relevant species of hominin skulls that may be represented by this fossil assemblage. And I say 4, they're really probably only 3. The first one they mentioned that you can see right here is Australopithecus afarensis, which is Lucy's species, and that's from East Africa, probably highly unlikely to be in this assemblage. I don't believe any South African caves have yielded any afarensis bits, but you'll also see that they will reference Australopithecus or Paranthropus robustus, Australopithecus africanus, Australopithecus sediba, and then also Homo erectus. So you'll see those all mentioned there. It's a nice, very quick, very superficial look at what some of the thoughts on that are. So well worth going back after you hear this and taking a look at that. Then overheard in the command center, "You are the perfect people for this job because you are so strange." And indeed, when people have been together on an expedition like this, they get very, very, very close, very friendly, and you have a lot of funny things said like that. And indeed, it does take unique people to do the work that they are accomplishing down there. So kudos to all of them. And then getting a little bit more serious, watching Ellen work toward lifting a lumbar vertebra, incredibly delicate operation. A lumbar vertebra is down at the lower portion of your spine, probably something that would be down in the belly button region of the spinal cord or the spinal column, just to give you that feel for those of you that don't know a lot about anatomy. And then here, as we've seen many times, fossils at the post box, and we get a little view of the cameras from the command center, and you can see whoever it is sliding through, and it looks like there's a little bit of room, at least in this upper right. But they definitely do have to squirm, so it's nice to get that view. And then Dr. Berger letting us know new fossils are up, new vertebrae, new dentitions, which would be teeth and probably bits of jaw, Ellen's up now, Lindsay in, Becca and Alia coming out soon. So again, things staying busy down there, and neat to see those new fossils coming up. And then here, the puzzle box is sprouting. Lee Berger seems to have found another entrance. And as a bit of a joke, here we are in the puzzle box area, and one of the tags they're using to mark fossils to be removed, someone has cut out a printout of Dr. Berger's head. A little bit of humor there. It's good to see that they are indeed able to have that level of humor going on. And then here we have Scott Williams using a porcupine quill to remove sediment from a vertebral fragment. Scott Williams is the spinal column expert that has come in to look at what they have. And if you may remember from the other day, the site has obliged by all of a sudden giving up some vertebra for him to study. So there he is, and the high-tech technology of using a porcupine quill, which works incredibly well for the delicate work that needs to be done there. Then we come up, we're getting toward the end of the day, sending runners into the cave now to help bring out 3 bags of fossils now coming out. So this site just keeps yielding trove after trove of things. And John Hawks, that was the last tweet of the day from Rising Star. But one of the great things, and I've certainly been a beneficiary of this, is how much the rest of us are able to get from this expedition. And a neat tweet here. This is from a humanities 6th grade class out of India, I believe in New Delhi. And after catching up on the Rising Star expedition, I'm excited to share real-life, real-time science with my class. Thanking Lindsay and John Hawks. I then chimed in and said, I've had this great experience. I've referenced this play-by-play that I've been doing and shared it with them. And then you'd see they're following it from New Delhi, and we keep going on down here. This is great. I'm scrapping today's plans and centering the entire session around the Rising Star expedition. So it's great to see that this is really getting universal excitement, and it's really all over the place. So great news there. Thanks again, and we'll wrap up for tonight. Have a great one, and see you in the next update.